What's up everybody, this is Jack from Crypto 49er, bringing you my knowledge in cryptocurrency. Today I want to talk about the Gekko Trading Bot, why live trades will perform worse than backtests. So I should have done this a long time ago, but I just happened to have Coinbase Pro open, which is one of the exchanges I used Gekko with, and also had Gekko running on the side on another machine while I was coding up a strategy, actually making modifications to that strategy I was using to fix some bugs that I had actually. So while I was making those modifications, I was like peering over and looking back on the Coinbase Pro and actually saw Gekko making buy orders. Like it actually would just come up where also your balance goes to zero or close to zero, and then you see a limit buy order. So it goes to the top of the order book. It's what they call a sticky order, where it stays on this order book until it gets executed because it's a limit order, and that's what I originally loved Gekko for, because of the fact that it is a limit order on Coinbase Pro. There's no fees for it. I'm only taking 100% of the profits. Sounds awesome to me. But that's not really what happens, and I'll explain what really did happen. So let's go to trading view and I'll show you in a better picture what happened. I have Gekko set up to trade on 5-minute candles, so that's why I have 5-minute candles set up here in trading view, and I was using the RSI as an indicator that Gekko would rely on. But all it does was it relies on, let's say the RSI going to oversold territory, which is under 30, so buy there supposedly. So once it hits that, it'll start buying, right? So in this right here at September 19 at 14:55, it hit that point where it went below 30. So basically what Gekko should do is it will buy over here. On a backtest basis, once Gekko sees this candle where it actually went below 30 for the RSI, based on your strategy, right? Whatever strategy you have. So the criteria to buy has been met, and it will buy on the next candle. That's basically what Gekko does. They'll buy here at $10.40. So let's say that you set it to sell when it's above 80, for example. So it sells exactly right after this candle. So it doesn't sell at this candle, because at this candle, that's where it met their sell criteria, and they'll sell at the next candle, which is the next candle close price is 10.99. The backtest results will be like this. So based on what we had here, September 19, 1500 at 10.40, at buying at $10.40 and selling at $10.99, you'll have a gain of 5.6%. because you're not paying any fees, anything like that. So this is what the backtest hypothetical result will be. But here's the problem. When I was watching the Gekko Trading Bot do the live trade, this is what actually happened. At 14:55, it met the buy criteria. It doesn't actually wait till the next candle, but it immediately issues a buy order the next minute. So in this case, instead of waiting till 1500, it actually issued a buy order at 14:56. It puts in an order right over here at the top of the order book right here. And then 14:57 happened. And you know what happened? The price kept on going up. So now my order was actually being pushed down because the price kept going up. So now Gekko has to cancel the order and reissue another buy order at the new limit order at the top of the order book. So basically the sticky order, as they call it. It basically got stuck back onto the top of the order book. So that's fine for 14:57. 14:58 came. Again, the price went up a little bit more. So my order again got pushed back down. There were more people buying and willing to push the price higher. I saw that Gekko again had to repeat the process and cancel the order and push the order to the top again at the top of the order book. This literally happened for like 20 minutes. I literally saw on the trading view side of things, because I had both trading view open and Coinbase Pro open. I saw that I was just missing out on orders. So instead of buying here like a backtest would do, so the backtest, we bought at $10.40. I'm buying somewhere around here, maybe even here. I think it's around here. So because as the price rises, there are all these orders coming in to push the price up. Gekko just wasn't able to get the exchange to fulfill the order, because it was always issuing out limit orders. But it was frustrating, really frustrating to see it just go for like 20 minutes like this, to the point where like I ended up buying up here, and I was like, what the heck? Like, why am I buying up here? So I pretty much had a loss, and this is pretty much what happened. So live trade wise, so based on the close price anyway, this is not exactly what happened, but based on just the close price. So I'm just going based off of the close price listed on TradingView. buying at 1103 because again, it was riding the order book. And then it sold at the very next candle at a loss of 10.99. So it was only less than 1% loss. So basically, if $100, if I had $100, which actually I had exactly $100 in there, it ended up losing 36 cents. Not a big deal. But the main thing is, this would have been a gain on a backtest. So on the backtest, I would have made $5.60 on $100. But instead, then in live trade, I ended up losing 36 cents. So this is the problem we have with Gekko. So now that's actually just based on the close price. So if you were following just the close price, you're like, okay, this is not so bad. So you're only losing less than 1%, like a third of a percent, not so bad. But in reality, because of how this candles push up, again, if you watch my candlestick video, you understand how the candlesticks work. So this is basically a doji right here. So where this is an indecision in the market, the shadows here. So there's the upper shadow and lower shadow. So the upper shadow of this candle tells the story of how high the bulls were able to push the price before they lost steam and fell back down during this 5-minute time frame. But what I want to point out is that it actually, instead of buying at 1103 at the close, it didn't actually buy it there. It actually bought as soon as the momentum was lost. That's when Gekko was able to execute the trade. Instead of executing at 1103 close price, it actually executed at the 1118 actual price. And then it sold at 10.99. The 10.99 is against the close price thing, so it's not exact, but this is want to show you what it actually buy at. Instead of losing a third of a percent, it lost 1.69% because it actually bought at the very, very top of this candle and end up selling at the next candle. So how do we fix this problem? One way to do it is simply change what Gekko does. Instead of putting out limit sticky orders so that it sticks to the top of the order book right here, just have it buy right over here, buy at the market price. So that when it buys at the market price, it executes it immediately and you'll be able to get the best price possible and execute it immediately instead of waiting and end up riding the order book and missing out on better prices. So how do we get Gekko to issue market orders instead of limit sticky orders? So what we have to do is actually modify the wrapper. So inside the exchange folder inside Gekko, you have to go to the wrapper folder, and that's where Gekko uses each exchange's API and communicates with these APIs with these wrappers that people written up. So if you open up GDAX, for example, there's this option called post only. What it supposedly does is if you set it to post only equal false, so you actually see it in the interface itself. So you go over here, you set it to limit. There's an option post only or allow taker. What it does supposedly is if you allow taker, is that your limit order can become a market order where people will get limit order and actually execute it. The problem I see with the post only is that it doesn't always work. It still end up being a limit order. In addition, I think a lot of people saw this where when they changed post only from true to false, what ended up happening was only a part of the order gets executed. And actually, I just see a new issue being pointed out over here. Gekko not retrying rejected trades. So it's a similar process, but where like only about like 30% of your entire Gekko balance is executed. Not even 30%. It could be just a random percentage, whatever the market is willing to accept. That's what gets executed, and then the rest, supposedly Gekko was supposed to do is it'll retry at a higher price or at the best possible price it could get it at, and then we'll retry until your entire balance on the exchange is executed and the trade is executed. So that's what's supposed to do, but right now because there's this new bug, only a part of the order gets executed and the rest of it just stays in your balance because the order gets rejected. But besides that problem, the post only flag doesn't work. What we have to do is actually just modify this wrapper so that actually will execute all trades as market orders instead of limit orders. So it's pretty simple actually. If you look at the Coinbase Pro documentation for the API, under orders, place a new order, they'll tell you what you can add as parameters. So you can add actually the type as parameters, and then you can set to either limit or market, and the default is limit. So that's why there's no type. You just look through the different things in here, different settings, there's no type because they just rely on the fact that the default is going to be limit, and that's what it is. So what I ended up doing was modifying the wrapper and just adding this type to set it to market. In addition to changing post only to false, I also set it to a market order. I'm not even sure if you need to set post only to true or false, but I set it to false anyway and also set it to market. And then here, after I did that, you also have to go into the buy function here and actually add that as a buy parameter. So in the buy parameters, I modified it so that also includes the type. So now Gekko will tell the exchange that you want to execute the trade as a market order and pay the taker fee, because again, on Coinbase Pro, there's a taker fee of 0.3% compared to a maker fee, which doesn't cost you anything. But again, you are losing from a 5.6% gain down to losing at 1.69% because you're riding the market. I'd rather take the taker fee rather than losing on the gains. But in addition to doing this, you also have to modify something, because the other thing that Gekko does is inside the trader.js file, this is where the trade logic actually happens. And in here, what you have to do is I changed this from 9.5 to 9.9. It will actually buy as many shares as it can, but only uses 95% of your money. So it doesn't use the whole entire 100%. And I believe Mike, the creator of Gekko, his explanation is that they try to put in a sticky limit order and the price you're buying at changes. You end up not having enough money if you set it to like 100%. So what happens is your order will get rejected. But point being, as a market order, you don't care about the price moving up and down because you're buying at the market price. So what I ended up doing was I set it to 99%. Technically, I can set it to 997 because you still need to have some amount for the taker fee. So you can set it to 997 and you still have that little bit amount for the taker fee and then be able to cover your whole entire balance. But you do need to make this change if you want Gekko to make market orders that uses up your entire balance. So once you make these changes, what's supposed to happen is this, where if you do a market order based on a close price, so instead of making 5.6%, you have to pay the 0.6% both for buying and selling, right? So 0.3% for buying, 0.3% for selling, so a total of 0.6% in fees. So you end up making 5%, which is still pretty good compared to, again, losing 1.69% just because you didn't want to pay the fees. I'd rather take the 5%. But again, this is based on the close price. So you actually base it off the actual price. The actual price is really, again, what I meant was if you go back to TradingView here, it executes at the very next minute after the buy requirements are fulfilled, executes at the next minute. So it doesn't actually execute at the close price, it executes closer to the opening price. So the opening price here is 1031. So I just set it to 1033, give a little gap, a little buffer, just in case it actually wasn't able to execute at the opening price. And the sell price, again, I'm just giving it a little more room to sell at. So actually end up selling and making a good, nice profit of 7.1% after the 0.6% fee. So the bottom line is this. Gekko creates limit sticky orders that stays at the top of the order book and changes it every minute to match the BBO, or the best bid and offer acts and bid price, when Gekko is working. Again, hopefully Axma is able to fix this issue soon, and even the limit orders will be retried after being rejected. But when trading in lower time frames, I would say 15 minutes or less, your order will just ride the order book and will never execute until the price goes against the trend for a brief period. By then, you will have missed significant gains. The only way to prevent this is to modify exchange API wrappers to issue all trades as market orders instead of limit orders and pay the taker fee. So 0.3% on Coinbase Pro and 0.1% on Binance for taker and maker. So one thing I want to point out is actually, again, Binance, you can do this on Binance as well. So Binance, on the wrapper file here, there's actually a type already put in. So all you have to do is just change this from limit to market. I haven't tested it. You might not even need it. It really depends on the trade pair. So, I haven't tested it on Binance, but I think Binance might not have as much volume kicking through. It depends on your trade pair again, so that you might be able to execute your limit orders at a better price. But for Binance, you're paying 0.1% no matter what. It takes a little testing to see if it's worth doing on Binance, but I know for sure that it's definitely worth it to do this on Coinbase Pro. So anyway, guys, that's my video for today. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. Like and subscribe. If it isn't crypto, it isn't worth mining. Peace out.